When I was in school, I don't think any of my teachers would have described me as a history buff. In my mind, that was little more than a list of names and dates to memorize. But in the years since, I've come to recognize what I think everyone else has known from the very beginning, and that's history is fascinating. It's exciting and it's full of drama. And of course, it has so much to teach us. So if you don't mind, I'd like to share a story from history that's taught me quite a lot. Two soldiers stand upon the shore of a New England harbor, only lightly sheltered from the icy Atlantic beyond. The day has been unremittingly colorless and cold, and now it seems that a storm might be blowing in. But they need to get back to their post at Fort Adams, looming in the distance. And to reach it, they'll need to cross the harbor, one that's known for becoming treacherous, especially in early spring when storms can blow in quickly. They've hired a boy, a young sailor who's assured them he'll be able to guide them in even the roughest weather, and they do really need to get back. But no sooner are they underway than dark clouds descend. The light fades, wind howls, and the water turns rough. They're soldiers, not sailors, and their 14-year-old guide is far less experienced than he's led them to believe. The wind spins them round, waves toss them side to side, and soon they're disoriented, no longer certain whether the safety of the fort lies ahead or behind. And then they see the faintest glimmer of light. Through the storm pierces the beam from a lighthouse that sits upon a rocky island in the midst of the harbor. But their relief lasts only a moment, because while they can see the light from the lighthouse, all hope of reaching it is dashed as a mighty wave tosses them into the icy water. Meanwhile, inside the lighthouse sits Ida Lewis, the eldest daughter of the island's lightkeeper. She's sick with a cold and trying to keep warm by the stove. Then she hears something. In a flash, she's out of her chair. From the lighthouse's perch atop the island, she can just make them out in the distance. Ida runs out into the night, not even stopping to put on a coat. She hurries down to the shore and into her rowboat. And as she pushes off, wind and freezing rain threaten to drive her back, but she struggles with all her might. Wave after wave crashes over the bow, nearly sinking her. But she can still hear the men's desperate cries, and so she presses on. Finally, she reaches them, and she summons all the strength in her 103-pound frame to drag the nearly unconscious men into the boat. The men she rescued that day are among the total of 18 people that this lightkeeper's daughter would save throughout her life in the lighthouse. Of her, a poet once wrote, "In this world there's none beside her, none more true and brave. In the tempest, on the wave, none more sure to save." In our lives, the tempest and the wave will surely come in the form of disappointments, tragedies, and unanswerable questions. Each of us will have moments when we will be overcome by the roar of the storm, when we will lose our way, when our whole lives will be caught up and capsized. We will find ourselves in uncharted waters. And even though we may see a light burning steady and true in the midst of that storm, we may feel hopeless to reach it because we sense that we're too far, or too weak, or too lost. But know this, the child of the lightkeeper has already come to our rescue. He's left the safety of his home, struggled upon the troubled sea of our world, braved the worst storms of this life, so that we who are shipwrecked can be saved.